Defensively, I thought we did some really, really good things today. It was nice to kind of get back and see that, something we've been spending a ton of time on in practice. I thought that we've been working really, really hard on converting from the press into the half court. I thought that was well done. Anytime you hold a team, they were shooting 37% from the three. Basically took that away from them. That was very nice to see after the Penn State game. Obviously, RJ hadn't practiced for most of the week with a shoulder contusion and bruise, and I thought defensively he was outstanding in the first half. And and then it got interesting. We struggled scoring the basketball, so we didn't get in the press. We didn't do anything, defensively, and then Matt took it over late and showed what a really good player he is. But I thought Terrence defensively was great. We got him downhill, and all the positives that came with that. So we've been going at it. It's a hard week with finals. It's a hard week. The first time we've had extended practice time in a while. So it's we've got to clean up some things offensively. We had good looks, I thought. We moved the ball in the first half, and then the second half, we had the dry spell. But it's on to the next one, and we'll get a little day off tomorrow and start getting ready for bragging rights on Thursday.
All right, questions?
Coach, 27 threes against this team, is that a few too many or about right, or are you happy with that?
No, I think they're one of the poorest teams in the country in terms of giving up threes. And they give up a ton. They get into a lot of rotations, they close the paint, you've got to spray them. We knew that this was going to be a game where there was going to be a lot of those opportunities to shoot threes.
Derek?
Matt voiced some frustration, says you guys have a lot to figure out internally. What are you seeing? What's going on there?
Yeah, and I disagree with that. He's every player. Matt's been in a system for 4 years, and not every player's like him. And I think there's challenges that he has to work through. And being somewhere different. I personally like what I saw. He was pretty good at the end of the game, and so his he needs to be a guy that's a leader. He needs to be a guy that has been there, even though something might be different to the way that he knows. He's a guy that is trying to win. He's a guy that's very competitive. And I'm sure he was frustrated. He picks up a couple early fouls. He's going early, and just kind of he found a way late, and we saw how talented he truly was. And all he did was really play hard. He played super hard, and so we get that Matthew Meyer that hooks it up like that. He doesn't only have a bright future here. He helps us win. He has a bright future beyond, and all that was Derek was just him playing really, really hard. So whatever he thinks are the issues are, I like pretty much what I saw at the end of the game today.
Larry?
Coach, concerned there in the second half, 8+ minutes without scoring, 16-0 run. It felt like a lot of the guys were just tentative. I mean, on offense.
Oh, there's no doubt.
Had shots and didn't take them in passing. And what concerns that you have at this stage in this game, kind of pivotal, heading into the next week and beyond?
Well, and I think one of the great advantages we have is Coleman at the 5, and Coleman's got to shoot the basketball when he's open and when he's moving, and he can't just be a facilitator. I mean, he turned down layups, it's about getting guys in the right place. Terrence got hurt a little bit in that stretch, and Matt's got a quick third, and Sky's in foul trouble, and guys who are big shot makers for us weren't in the game. And, you know, it's a good thing we continued to guard, even though they, you know, their little guard hit a couple. But we finally got back into our press when we did score, and then we blow it open. But, yeah, we've got to get, you know, we got to start, you know, hoop it again, so to speak.
Scott?
Did you take a different approach today? Because I know the first half you just weren't up and walking the sideline quite as much, and just Tim was doing a lot of instructing. Just
No, I mean, I knew I got a pretty good idea what I'm trying to do, and we've got to continue to grow this basketball team and connect the dots. I think we've proven. I think we've beaten one of the best basketball teams in the country in UCLA, and you know, we had a chance to win against, you know, Virginia, and who I think is very good, and yet you got to find that next step, and it's a tough week. It's a hard week with finals, and yet we've got to continue to find areas to grow in. And I thought defensively we did that, and now we got to clean some things up offensively.
Andy?
Brad, I know Coleman had COVID this late, but with him, what's kind of the key with him with balancing being assertive and also facilitating on offense?
I need him assertive. I just need him to play the game. When Coleman plays the game, he's one of the best players in the country, and that stems. I mean, the same guy made 5 threes. Why not shoot him when you're open? That's a huge advantage for us. That opens the paint up. That opens up Terrence. That opens up RJ. It opens up Matt when he's shooting the ball. And you know, those are things that you know, we want him to do. He's ultra competitive. He wants to win. He wants to get everybody involved. And you know, you've got to do that in a lot of ways. And you know, we've got to get him. You know, where I'd love for him to shoot 5 or 6 threes a game. You know, that means he's open, and he's a really good shooter, and he's got to shoot them.
Tyler?
Yeah, Brad, the word leadership keeps coming up last week, this week. You know, from your standpoint, what are some of the tangible things that you're looking for in practice this week for the Missouri game that would show the leadership that you're looking for from this team?
Oh, and I don't think there's a specific thing. I think it's accountability to everybody. You know, who's holding everybody accountable in all facets. And you know, I don't think that I thought it was much better today. I thought, you know, we got great leadership from a couple freshmen today, and you know, I thought we got great leadership from Matthew. I mean, Matt got after it at the timeout. I mean, Matt was ranting and raving at a time. I haven't seen that kind of emotion from Matthew Meyer in my time here. And then he just, you know, changes his pulse, and that's the stuff that we have to have. That's leadership, to hold everybody accountable to a certain standard. And you know, it's our saying, everyday guy, show up and do your job every day. And that's, when we get to that, we'll be really, really, really good basketball team.
Jeremy?
Brad, it seems like every season has a crossroads. Is it hyperbolic for this team right now? Is a really important time to figure out who you are? And
I think I think going into this, we played 6 of 7 high major games. They've all been big games. There's all been a ton of emotion. You know, I don't want to say it's a trap game, but it's a game that you feel good about. So you push some different buttons. You try to, we had practice time, we had finals. You try to find ways to motivate, find ways to challenge. It's no more than that. It's no more, it's just to find a way to get, you know, Jaden Epps and Sky Clark and those guys to play just a little bit better and push them in practice and demand a little more, because we've got practice time. You know, and the same thing with Matthew, and you know, and the same thing with Coleman, and you know, those guys have to be counted on. Terrence responded incredibly. I mean, his defense was phenomenal tonight, and you know, his aggressiveness, and that's what we need from him.
Matt and
when Matthew comes to you, over here, Brad.
right here.
When Matthew comes to you about doing the fasting before a game, I think this is the 3rd or 4th game he's done that. What's that process like, whether it's with you or with Fletch or just internally? Hey, I think this will work for me.
I don't worry about that 1 second. That is something that we have a lot of professionals here. They tell me who plays and who doesn't. And when it comes to all of that stuff, that's, you know, maybe there's a reason he's tired. I don't know, or he doesn't. I don't know. But every player's got their own unique pregame deal. I sure don't mess with it. I want him to find a habit and stick to it. And your pregame ritual is your pregame ritual. And if it's shooting 250 shots, or if it's getting a power nap, or if it's listening to music, or whatever it is, you know, you would think, you know, we just want him to stick to it, and he'll handle that with our nutritionist and Fletch and Paul.
Just a quick one. Is RJ Melendez nursing an injury? How's he feeling after the game?
I haven't talked to him after the game. He was fine to play. It's not an injury. It was just sore. You know, we've done all the scans and all that stuff that we do preventive. You know, he obviously had 8 stitches in his head from the fall, and then he fell on his shoulder. So it's a bruise or whatever it was, but you know, we held him out a few days, and you know, so it's nothing more than that.
Joey?
Brad, I know Matt also mentioned that moment, the 10 timeout where he kind of turned it up a little bit. Now, can that be something, like, how do you build on that, and is that something that could propel him into that leadership role that we talked so much about last week?
We'll see. I hope. I gotta find that button. You know, he's been in the system for 4 years. You know, I gotta find that button. I know, you know, when he came in here, he was not in good shape. He was, you know, that's been well documented. He hurt his back, and so now it's the, you know, it's still, you know, him adapting to us and what we do, and us still trying to find the right buttons to push. But whatever that button is, now I need to find that one, because that was really, really impressive what he did.
So, Coach, obviously this game was 8 wild swings, but you guys fought off A&M in that second half. What was the message to the team for you guys?
Yeah, we got better. I mean, I just put up our defensive numbers, and you know, those are things we emphasized this week. You know, we'll come back and we'll watch film, and you know, then they have zero idea. Most of these guys have zero idea what bragging rights is, and so we've got to get them right there. We've told them that, and talked about that, and we'll continue to evaluate as we move forward, and try to get better as we head into Thursday.
Joey?
So just one more with finding the right button. He talked about a communication between the two of you. Like, how do you guys kind of continue that development and find the right footing with one another? Just because, like you said, you've been in a different place for 4 years.
Yeah, I mean, it's just getting to know him, spending time with him, you know, finding out what works in practice, what doesn't, what motivates him, what he likes, and then yet, you know, it's not it's him, you know, he's the one that has to adjust as well, and you know, so that's all part of the transfer process, and it's why it's really hard to transfer. And Matt is a wonderful, wonderful kid and a wonderful human being, and he's got a great heart. And but we'll get there.
Anything else? Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Brett.